Why Grant Cardone wants to destroy Robert Kiyosaki. These two have been at a silent war with each other, and it's all out there for the world to see. They are both a force in their own way, and that's why they have always played the enmity card in a big man's way. After all, they both are. In this video, we'll reveal why Grant Cardone wants to destroy Robert Kiyosaki. So this video will be exciting. Stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. For Robert Kiyosaki, he operates through several companies that he owns fully or in part, and through franchisee arrangements with other companies authorized to use his name for a fee. This includes Rich Dad LLC, Whitney Information Network, Rich Dad Education, and Rich Dad Academy. Kiyosaki's financial and business teachings focus on what he calls financial education, generating passive income by focusing on business and investment opportunities such as real estate investment, businesses, stocks, and commodities to be able to support oneself by such investments alone and thus achieving true financial independence. Kiyosaki uses the term assets for things that put money in one's pocket. He stresses the importance of building up an asset first to fund one's liabilities instead of saving cash or relying on a salary from a traditional job. Keep watching to find out more. Grant Cardone, on the other hand, is the CEO and founder of Grant Cardone Enterprises, comprising all his companies: Cardone Training Technologies, Cardone University, Cardone Acquisition, Cardone Capital, and Grant Cardone Television Network. Each of his companies was created one after the other. They were never established at the same time because each gave rise to the other. He manages all the companies housed in his enterprise, Grant Cardone Enterprise. However, getting to this height wasn't easy, especially for Grant Cardone, considering that he experienced challenges from his background. So clearly, these two have different backgrounds, and it's only normal that their outlook towards not just life alone, but taste in investment would be different. It's safe to say that these two gurus are doing well on their own terms. Then, why are they always at loggerhead? And why is it that Grant Cardone wants to destroy Robert? From all indications, they have a different perspective on business. Their exercise of authority shouldn't affect each other since they operate at a different wavelength. It's rather surprising that the two investment gurus have been on each other's case for a while now, subtly coming at each other like cats and rats, but the highlight of their fights was shown to the world just a few months ago. From what I've noticed, Robert Kiyosaki has continually presented Grant Cardone as a fraud to the public. And that is exactly what happened again in the interview. The thing is, growing up, Grant Cardone's father died while he was very young. The death of his father led him to indulge in various vices. He was a big drug addict for most of his early years, so much that he ended up at rehab. The experience he had at the rehab was the major pivot that led him to buckle down and get serious with his life. Grant's story is out there for the world to see, which I think Robert has turned into a weapon against Grant. It won't be wrong to say that Grant's background, plus a few other things, are the reason Robert would always view Grant as a fraud. This is not the whole story. It'll get even crazier. Keep watching. Grant Cardone was invited to Robert Kiyosaki's show, The Rich Dad Show. The show also had Kim Kiyosaki in attendance, Robert's wife. If you've been following this channel, you know we've analyzed how the interview played out. Getting on the interview, Grant Cardone was asked to give his 2 cents about what entrepreneur newbies should look out for and how to get started. Grant, being who he is, goes straight to talk about the need for them to buy expensive and multiple units. On the other hand, this approach didn't sit well with Robert, so he counterattacks what Grant says, telling him budding entrepreneurs should rather start small. Well, if he had said it more politely, perhaps it wouldn't have made Grant feel bad. But with the way everything played out, it was almost like Robert Kiyosaki invited Grant to his show to simply ridicule him. Isn't it expected that people will always have differing opinions? So why does Robert have to make it feel out of place? That singular action is enough to heighten the tension between the two of them. So if anyone calls what Grant Cardone has for Robert hatred, who am I to say no? It is what it is. Meanwhile, after the interview, Grant did a video bashing Robert following the incident, and from then on, it has been from one thing to the other. Come to think of it, Robert, that seems to always go on and on about how Grant is not to be trusted and isn't equally innocent. You know what they say, he who seeks equity must come with clean hands. Robert's hands are filthy too. You'll not believe what happened next. In 2010, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation did an expose on scams that Kiyosaki's company was perpetuating in Canada in the guise of seminars. Upon tracking the success claims of Rich Dad seminar organizers, they discovered that these claims were not true. Investments in trailers and trailer parks, which were being propagated as successful by seminar teachers, were found to actually be barren pieces of land that no one was using. Grant has constantly been under the scrutiny of Robert, even when he is also guilty of what he accuses Grant of. At this point, Grant has had enough of that. Now is the time for some real actions. That will be all for today. For more exciting videos like this, don't forget to thumb on the subscribe button.